Brutish power and payload capacity remain key traits of the F-250, while aluminium construction brings it into the 21st century. A 6.2-litre V8 with 430 pounds Ft, a max tow rating of 15,000 pounds, and a 6-speed automatic are standard. A 6.7-litre turbo diesel V8 with 925 pounds Ft and a max tow rating of 18,000 pounds is optional. Configurations include regular, SuperCab, and crew cab, as well as 6.75-foot and 8.0-foot beds. The F-250 boasts a quiet cabin, a compliant ride, and up to 6 exterior cameras. Technically, the 2017 Ford F-250 Super Duty marks the start of a fourth generation of this heavy-duty truck. But the last time Ford launched a from the ground up Super Duty, not just new powertrains, an exterior refresh, or refinements, was in 1998 with the official debut of the entire brand and line. The world was a different place. The original Palm Pilot had just debuted a year earlier, LeBron James was still figuring out how to dunk at Reading Middle School, Titanic had become the first movie to gross $1 billion, a 23-year-old Bear Grylls became the youngest Brit to climb Mount Everest, and Google was finding its footing as a tech company. When first introduced, the Super Duty name was an organizational move, just Ford's way of saying the F-150 is for personal use and the F-250s and beyond are for more serious, work-dedicated activities. Today, those lines aren't so cut and dry. The F-250's livability has improved so greatly that people can and use these trucks as personal vehicles, not just as workhorses. This latest heavy-duty Ford test truck was an F-250 XL4X4 with the 6.8-foot bed, SuperCab body, 148.0-inch wheelbase, and single rear wheels. As its yelling TV commercials have shown, Ford really loves talking about numbers and how they assert the brand's dominance as the premier pickup option. This truck also shouts in person, from its enormous curbside presence to the roar of its engine under load. There are 2 available power plants for the F-250. Our test truck had the gasoline engine rather than the headline-hogging power-stroke turbo diesel 6.7-litre V8. The SOHC 6.2-litre V8, which features port fuel injection and the ability to run on E85, makes the same 385 horsepower at 5750 RPMs as it did in 2016. But the torque rating is up 25 pounds-ft to 430 at 3800 RPMs thanks to a long-runner intake manifold and revised camshaft profiles. That gives Ford bragging rights to more torque than any of the competitors' standard V8-powered heavy-duty trucks. The new Super Duty followed the F-150 into adopting an aluminium body in an effort to save weight, with Ford claiming that it dropped more than 300 pounds with the redesign. Some of that savings was offset by the adoption of a fully boxed steel frame, a stronger suspension, and an upgraded rear axle, but it's hard to put a fine point on it, since the weight of heavy-duty trucks varies so much within the lineup. For example, our last F-250 tester, a diesel 4x4 crew cab, flattened the scales at 8,300 pounds. One, which is at the light end of the Super Duty range, came in at a relatively featherweight 6,532 pounds. The lightweight meant there was plenty of power to overcome the inertia of the truck's mass, and the F-250 hustled to 60 miles per hour in 6.7 seconds and nearly hit its 98-mile-per-hour top speed in the quarter mile, with a time of 15.3 seconds at 92 miles per hour. Part of the credit goes to the new 6-speed TORQ Shift G automatic transmission that is standard with the 6.2-litre gas engine. Ford rates this model as being capable of towing 12,600 pounds and hauling 3,560 pounds in its bed, so it needs stout brakes. The 4 discs brought the rig to a full stop from 70 miles per hour in 195 feet, which is not great in objective terms, but in this class, Anything short of 200 feet is worthy of applause. In our testing, the brakes showed no sign of fire. This F-250's modest mass helped it to actually grip corners better than the most recent F-150 we had, pooling 0.79 grams, despite the feeling that we were driving on stilts. Our truck measured 81.5 inches tall. In our 1,200 miles with the truck, which included an unloaded cruise control highway trip to Chicago, the 6.2-liter managed 13 mpg on our 75 mph highway loop, not included in the overall mpg figure. This F-250 averaged 15 mpg, versus 17 for the F-250 diesel. The EPA doesn't require the rating of trucks with a GVWR over 8,500 pounds, but these figures are in line with others of its ilk that we've tested. The road manners and ride quality of the F-250 are impressive, even at this lowest trim level. Engine noises are largely experienced by those outside rather than inside the truck. The huge dimensions make it a bit lumbering around town, and it often takes a couple of extra maneuvers to park it, but the steering is precise and light. There's no real feel. You aim a thing like this more than you steer it. At higher speeds and without a load in the bed, the F-250 will bust the occasional dance move over bumps. But it's composed, and the firm but absorbent suspension is livable on a day-to-day basis. The XL we tested was technically the base trim level, but it had $5,660 worth of add-ons that elevated the truck's looks and gave it a few creature comforts. The most expensive was the $915 power equipment group, which adds power locks, power seats, power windows, an alarm, keyless entry, and upgraded door trim. The $720 XL value package provides a 4.2-inch center stack screen with a basic CD and MP3 equipped stereo system, chrome wheel hub covers, chrome bumpers, and cruise control. A $495 spray-in bed liner, a $375 tailgate step, and $60 LED bed lighting upgraded the box to make it tougher and more work-friendly. Also work-oriented were the $85 extra heavy-duty alternator, a $90 engine block heater, and $165 upfitter switches in the overhead console. A 3.731 limited slip rear differential, $390, an integrated trailer brake controller, $270, a CNG propane prep package, $315, and all-terrain tires, $455, added versatility. Our truck had the $365 sync system with voice activation, which worked fine as an elementary head unit, but the display wasn't a touchscreen, and there was no backup camera, which will be required for all cars starting in 2018. This truck had only one USB port, but converters could easily be plugged into one of the two 12-volt sockets. For $75 more, a 110-volt AC outlet is available. For $825 total, buyers can opt for the ultimate trailer tow camera system, which includes an upgrade to Sync 3 infotainment. The extra $385 over the equipment on our truck seems more than worth it for the reassurances of cameras everywhere on a machine the size of an F-250. It's the convenience and connectivity of the full Sync 3 suite. We have well-documented love for the F-Series. We're borderline obsessed with the hyper-capable F-150 Raptor, and the F-150 line earned our recent 10 Best Trucks and SUVs Full-Size Pickup Award. Meanwhile, the Super Duty has drastically improved upon every selling point that Ford was going after when it first debuted, reasserting its position on the heavy-duty throne.